Hello, everybody. It's probably Red, and today we're going to be doing the 3-drop responses and tactics tier list for Cataclysm Arcade Founders Edition, Crawling from the Wreckage. All right, so we're going to start out with Rope-a-Dope, but since last time I forgot how to measure up my or when, I guess, to measure up my tier list tiers. I'm going to do that beforehand. If you check, I got it in the description of the video that I missed it on, the 2-drop fighters. I digress. Anyways, let's begin. So we'll just keep it on Rope-a-Dope so that it gives you something to read as we go through this. Let's make sure that's... Okay, we're good. S tier. Must include in any deck that can run it. A. Solid and archetype defining. B. Good enough to be competitive. C. Might have 1 or 2 niche decks that run it. Otherwise, unseen. D. Okay, but the format has no spot for it. And F. The absolute garbage. Wouldn't want these in your deck unless you're trying to prove something to the world about this card. So I think so far we've had 1 F. I think I'm more generous towards the center of the tier list. I got a lot of C's and B's generally. But I mean, I guess that might be just a commentary on the balancing of the cards, or at least my understanding of their balancing. I digress. Let's start with this card. All of these are going to be 3-drops, so I'll leave that out. I'm also not mentioning rarity through these tier lists, but that's there. Just in case. I probably should have it to where you can see the rarity of each a little bit bigger. But continuing on, this is a survivor response, and I have them sorted by faction here, but I don't think it's sorted by I didn't purposefully sort it by responses and tactics this time, so it's kind of a medley of the two. So Rope-a-Dope with some amazing Price Jones art here. Very, very awesome. I kind of like the penciled look here, and it's got that subtle but distinct like pencil coloring. It almost makes the coveralls look like yellow. Yeah. Anyways, this is about the cards. Power level. All based on my opinions. Okay, target boss or fighter gains 2 health. Okay. Target boss or fighter, could be a different boss or fighter, gains +3 attack this level. Now, if gains does what I'm assuming it means... Okay, sorry. I just asked Discord because I know I kept saying, like, oh yeah, I'm going to ask Discord. I asked Discord and quickly got a reply by thank you. Shout out to Twimberwolf. I hope I'm saying that right. They quickly answered and said that you can gain past your maximum HP, but cannot heal past your maximum HP. So, if you've heard my suspicions all along, it's an intuitive mechanic, makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad to hear it. It's also really cool that you can go over your base HP, so they're basically like +1 health counters every time you gain health versus being damaged. Now, I wonder if that... Oh, I should have... Let me... 1 second. Okay, just got my answer. Sorry, I was back on Discord for a second. All right, so here's the deal. When you gain health, you can go past your max health, but it doesn't augment the max health stat in a way that if you later lost health, you could gain back to, or heal back to that gained amount. Okay, so wording's very, very particular here. Let's say I have a 5 health. Let me see if I can... Let's get something on the screen here, for example. let's say I have what's a good? Let's pick Squatch. Okay, so Squatch has 3 health. I use Rope-a-Dope on him. He goes to 5 health, which is possible because it says gains. Now, if I was healing, like with full heal, couldn't go past 3. Later on, Squatch, Fearsome Slugger, takes 3 damage, and then I use full heal. He'll go to 3 because his maximum health is not augmented by gain, even though he can have 5 health if he's at full health and uses Rope-a-Dope. Boom shakalaka. That's the whole thing. All right. So, is this card good? Well, it's a little bit better for the fact that it can heal over your maximum HP. And it can target bosses and fighters, which is great. The fact that you can heal up a unit that's been taking damage, but maybe it's not like your main attack unit, that's fantastic. And then if you have a unit you're about to attack with on your turn, since this is a response, you could, oh, this is such a good card. I like it. I'm not saying it's good yet. I'm determined to think this is pretty good, though. Because what you can do is, and this reminds me of another card I'll mention in a minute, but they can be attacking for the kill. You can gain 2 health, not kill that unit, and then have a unit you want to attack with, buff it by +3 attack. Maybe they didn't attack the agility unit you haven't attacked with. Boom, +3 health, or +3 attack. Then you swing in with that right after. You saved your unit. Your board hasn't changed, but theirs, this is a pretty nice swing here. It reminds me of sharp reflexes. So you're obviously, when they attack, you don't get the bonus damage to that boss or fighter. You just get the +3 attack, and then you have to actually attack. And I gave sharp reflexes an A. Okay, so do we think that Rope-a-Dope is as good? I think it has a similar effect. It's, I think, honestly worse. I'd put Rope-a-Dope in B. I think it's going to be good enough to be competitive. It's pretty interesting. If Stay Hydrated is good, this is just a really it's kind of like Stay Hydrated crossed with the Sensei guy. Miles, I think his name's Miles. Yeah. Okay, so it kind of gives two of those effects in one. All right. So now we're on to the best offense. 3 token cost tactic in the synth faction. Deal damage to target boss or fighter equal to the greatest health among fighters on your team. Okay, so I kind of like this as a silver bullet, unexpected one-off. If there's sideboards, out of the sideboard to deal with a problematic fighter right after you present a threat. Or if you response heal, let's say potentially with something like Rope-a-Dope, or maybe like, is full heal a response speed? I know we keep talking about this card. Oh, yeah. So if you go like full heal and then on your turn go best offense, that's going to be pretty cool. So in that sense, I think, I mean, that's a lot of tokens in one turn. You got to be like on level 6, but that's when you're going to be playing the big things. Yeah, I like that this can go face because you can deal like 7 damage. Now it doesn't say the highest max health. So if you're using a bunch of gain health cards, or you're using Fortify, you can get something crazy with this, and you're in synth, so that can happen. I think this is going to be, now I said like kind of as a silver bullet one-off to surprise the opponent, but if you really build a strategy around doing this and your deck has all that synergy, I think it's really great. Ultimately though, I think that best offense is a C. I think it's going to be strong, but I think it's going to be only in a couple of decks. Maybe one in several decks, or one deck that's dedicated to a bunch of them. All right. Okay, so now we're on to Mimeoscoped. All right, so this is a tactic. Create a token copy of target fighter on your team that dies at the end of the level, except it has the name Mimeoscope. If it's a synth, the token gains agility, which means it can tap twice per level. Wow. Okay. I think that this is a lot better than a card we're coming up on. Not this like tier list, but in a future tier list in the units tier list. Well, I say better, but in some ways kind of worse. I always forget that okay. So not exactly worse. Stat Mirage Master. This is a pretty weird card. And it's got a pretty weird relationship with Mimeoscope. First of all, they're two different factions, which, you could still compare cards between factions. Mimeoscope is so weird. So it changes, like this is free. You just have to be at level 4 to play it. Whereas this costs 3 tokens. And this is like, it only copies the abilities, but it doesn't change the attack cost and attack. So it's good with specific good effect cards like EV or something like that, like something you want 2 of. All right, so this does the same thing, but only for this level, but you get to have the stats. So you want something that... Now, I wonder if it's an exact token. Like, do you keep all of the buffs? It doesn't seem like you would. I would say you don't. You just get a copy of whatever it is, not like a snapshot of its stats. So you want something that's already pretty good stats, so you can get another attack with it. Actually, 2 more attacks with it because of agility. That's pretty gnarly. I like this card. I think it's going to be fun to build around. I'm going to go ahead and we'll rate this when we get there. I don't know about this card. I think it's got some potential, but we'll see. That's for a later tier list. So Mimeoscope, I'm kind of copping out here. I'm going to go C. I mean, it's kind of more of a build aroundy card, but I think I like it more than the best offense. Yeah. It's a weird card. Seems like it could have a lot of potential. Just, I mean, what are they going to do? Attack it and kill it? Like, after you got your attack in? I mean, I guess they could, but I don't know. In that way, the 3 tokens are buying you time. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Undertoad. This is a... Man, I'm not trying to criticize here. This was a great opportunity to have like a Weretoad or a Toad Shifter drowning somebody. I'm sorry. I know that's kind of low-hanging fruit. I get what they're going for with the Undertoad, but it's an otter. It could have been a frog. Could make it kind of a double thing there. But anyways, I digress. So this is a tactic, not a response. And destroy target fighter with 4 or more health. Okay, so it's situational. It only targets a certain subgroup of the potential fighters that you could face. This is better than I think it was a 1-drop. Let's find that real quick. But yeah, here it is. Emergency Brake. Okay, so I mean, obviously the costs are different. I think these cards are actually pretty similar. The big difference is this kills anything big, but it says 4 or more health. If a big thing's already been taking damage because you plan to kill it, then you top dough the Undertoad and it's already killed all your other stuff. That's a bad spot to be in. But Emergency Brake isn't going to help you there either. Emergency Brake is more about getting out early to take the things out that are going to make a huge health difference between you and your opponent early. This is trying to take out big stuff. I think this is like top of D, bottom of C, but maybe I'm crazy. It could just wipe out a unit. It's like dealing 7 damage for 3. Which, putting it that way, I'll put it at top of C. I think it's going to be close to being a B. It's going to be close. It could just be terrible for all I know. Let's see what's next. Outlast. All right. So, Outlast, it's a shifter tactic, and it's 3 tokens, of course. Choose an opponent. Deal damage to target boss or fighter on that player's team equal to the number of fighters on their team minus the number of fighters on your team. Okay, so you want to have more fighters, and if you do, this could potentially be a kill spell. I gotta say, art, amazing. Otherwise, I really don't like this card. You want to outnumber. Deal damage to target boss or fighter on that player's team equal to the number of fighters on their team minus the number. Wait, you want to have less. See, this card's confusing. At least it's confusing to me. Whew, that is. I don't like this card. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad yet, but I'm still trying to grok it. Okay, so let's do an example here. I think I had to do this last time. You've got, your opponent's got, okay, doesn't count bosses, but you can target bosses. They've got 4. You've got 2. Okay, so, and I choose their boss just to keep it simple. Equal to the number of fighters on the team, 4, minus the number of fighters on my team, 2. So it does 2. If we have the same number of fighters, it deals 0. If I have an overwhelming number of fighters, it does 0. If I have 1 and you have 3, it deals 2. I don't think the juice is worth a squeeze on this card. But it can hit bosses. So, similarly to the best offense, I think it could fit in a couple niche decks. I'm going to give it a D anyways. I don't like this card. I think it needs to exist because it's just that kind of weird, like, what's going on? Look at that. What is happening? The art's awesome. Oh, man, that's a rough paragraph. It's a rough paragraph of text, and it almost doesn't do anything most of the time. Awful card. I'm giving it an F. It's not an F, but I want to give it an F. It's not good. All right, now we have a card here. What was that other card? Wait a minute. That wasn't a response. That was a tactic. This is just better. Oh my God. This is crazy. Push is good. They pushed push. I'm going to push it up to B tier is what I'm going to do. All right, we're just double checking. We're just going to double check real quick. I probably should have paused real quick. But we got to see this card. How? This is this is not good unless you're running a playset. I get that it's uncommon, so yeah, goes right here. Honestly, makes me want to do that, but it's fine. They're pretty. I want to say they're pretty similar, but they're not. And honestly, I think you're better than that. A tier, S tier, B tier. I think it's good enough to be competitive. All right. Well, nope, we already talked about that. Evanesce. I don't know about this one. This is one of those cards I was talking about where you can, in a previous video, where you can use it, have weapons that you can target, and then it'll let you draw a card. So it's basically 3 sack a weapon, draw a card cycling just to get you through your deck. That is the worst possible use case for this card. It would be better to use it as discard fodder when your opponent makes you discard something. Is it good out of the sideboard? I feel like it could be. A weapon staying on the board and constantly giving them turn after turn this advantage as they're playing fighters, that's going to be a problem. It is costing them tokens, but honestly, you'd rather them not spend their tokens to continually gain that advantage. I think it's okay. I'm going to give it a D. Yeah, D for Evanesce. Yeah. It's a sideboard card, probably. Okay, now I like this card way more than I have any, need to like this card, if you know what I mean. I'm kind of obsessed with this card. I love the name. I love the art. It's all so good. Shout out to Samuel Alexander there. Just phenomenal artwork. Okay, let's read it. Response speed. Amazing. Mystic Faction. Good. Heal all fighters on your team to their maximum health. Ooh. If you're getting them to spread damage around your team, which is the big if, you need blockers. You need to be playing new enforcers. You need your stuff not to be dying. And then you could end up gaining 9 heal on this. No, not gaining. You can end up healing 9 health on this. I don't know if this is good, but I love it. I want to play a deck that this is good in. Just lots of big health fighters where all they need is a good healing from full heal. It's probably going to be a silver bullet one of to kind of, outrace the opponent or, I don't know, it's not tempo, but outreach the opponent with healing. They just can't take you down fast enough. I'm giving it top of C tier cautiously. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's an S. Malefice. Destroy target weapon. If it is wielded by a fighter, deal damage to that fighter equal to the weapon's level. I think that this is a bit worse than the Evanesce. Yeah, I think Evanesce is better than this. This can be a 2. Well, I guess that can be a 2 for 1. This might be better, but it's kind of similar to. Yeah, it's just this could be pretty crazy. I'd want to try out both. I think I'm going to put this right here, though, for now. Next. Sludged. Mystic Response. Put target attacking fighter on top of its owner's deck. Wow. Oh my gosh, this synth is getting totally blurred right now. Now, since it's a 0 drop when it comes back, what they're really losing is the tokens they spent attacking with it. and the ability to attack with it the rest of the turn. I don't know. It kind of saves you from that. Now, you technically, if this is a big technically if, say you're attacking with one of your fighters and they throw down a response speed, I don't know, -2, -1 attack tokens, or something to that effect, or like, I don't know, they somehow equip Ryle with a shield, the makeshift shield that lets them block, and they do this somehow at response speed, and then they're blocking with Ryle, and you're like, oh, sludged, and throw your fighter on top of your deck, making you draw it again, but fully healing it. Okay, sludged is getting a D. I don't think it's that good. And our last card, which is kind of similar to this, but I think it's a little bit different too. Let's read it. Thurgic Thrashing, Mystic Tactic. Deal 3 damage to target fighter. Target boss or fighter heals 3. So it's not gains, so it's worse in that regard. But instead of giving +3 attack, which could be worse if you're missing out on agility, it just deals damage to any target boss or fighter. I don't know. It's also a tactic. So additionally, Rope-a-Dope is a response speed card. This is a tactic speed card. It's close. It's hard for my brain to process that Thurgic Thrashing is worse than Rope-a-Dope, but it's also easy to see that there's some similarities between the two. You could kind of do this proactively, which sometimes is a pretty big advantage. Yeah. Overall, I think that it's slightly worse than Rope-a-Dope. But it's still a really cool card. And they're going to be in different decks. Or maybe you build a deck that's Survivor Mystic and you run a playset of both. You know, you got 3 copies of each in there. Well, that tier list, and I noted it before, it's always seems I get really close in on the B's and the C's. And there's a bunch of D's in this one, but mainly it's sideboard cards, so there's that. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give me a like. Go ahead and subscribe. And I'll talk to you soon.